Welcome to Artificial Intelligence in Economics. Welcome to AIE Business School. What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a form of digital money. But unlike the fiat currencies you're used to, there is no central bank to control it. Instead, in Bitcoin, the financial system is run by thousands of computers distributed around the world. Anyone can participate in the ecosystem by downloading open-source software. Announced in 2008 and launched in 2009, Bitcoin became the first cryptocurrency. As such, it would provide users with the ability to send and receive digital money, Bitcoins, with a lowercase b or BTC. What makes it so attractive is the fact that it is uncensorable, that funds cannot be spent more than once, and that transactions can be made at any time and from anywhere. What is Bitcoin used for? People use Bitcoin for a number of reasons. Many value its unpermitted nature, meaning that anyone with an internet connection can send or receive transfers. It is similar to cash in the sense that no one can stop you from using it, but because of its digital existence, it can be transferred globally. What makes Bitcoin valuable? Bitcoin is characterized by its decentralization, resistance to censorship, security, and cross-border nature. These qualities have made it attractive for various use cases, such as remittances and international payments, where individuals do not want to reveal their identities, as would be the case with a debit or credit card. Many choose not to spend their Bitcoins, but to hold them for the long term. This practice is also called hodling. Bitcoin has been nicknamed digital gold because it has a finite money supply. Some investors see Bitcoin as a store of value. Because it is scarce and difficult to produce, it has been compared to precious metals such as gold or silver. Holders believe that these characteristics, combined with international accessibility and high liquidity, make it an ideal medium for storing value over long periods. They believe that over time, the value of Bitcoin will continue to appreciate. How does Bitcoin work? When you make a transfer to your friend Peep, you don't send funds in the way you might imagine. It's not the digital equivalent of handing him a dollar note. It's more like writing on a piece of paper for everyone to see that you are handing your friend Peep the dollar in question. When Peep prepares to send these funds to his friend Laura, she will be able to see that he is in possession of them by examining the sheet of paper. The sheet is a particular type of database called a blockchain. All participants in the network have an identical copy of this database stored on their devices, and they connect with each other to synchronize new information. When a user makes a payment, it is transmitted directly to the peer-to-peer network, i.e., there is no centralized bank or institution to process the transfers. The Bitcoin blockchain uses a special mechanism called mining. It is through this process that new blocks of transactions are recorded on the blockchain. What is the blockchain? The blockchain is an append-only ledger. This means that data can only be added to it. Once information has been appended, it is extremely difficult to modify or delete it. The blockchain imposes this condition by including in each block a pointer to the previous block. The pointer is actually a hash of the previous block. Hashing involves passing data through a one-way function to produce a unique fingerprint of the input. If the input is changed even minimally, the fingerprint will look completely different. Because the blocks are chained, there is no way for someone to edit an old input without invalidating subsequent blocks. Such a structure is one of the components that make the blockchain secure. Is Bitcoin legal? Bitcoin is perfectly legal in most countries. However, there are some exceptions. Make sure you check the laws in your jurisdiction before investing in cryptocurrencies. In countries where it is legal, government entities take varying approaches to it in terms of taxation and compliance. Regulation is still very underdeveloped in general, and is likely to change considerably in the coming years. Did Satoshi invent blockchain technology? Bitcoin actually combines a number of pre-existing technologies, which have been known for some time. The concept of a blockchain was not born with Bitcoin. The use of unalterable data structures of this kind dates back to the early 1990s, when Stuart Haber and W. Scott Stornetta proposed a system for timestamping documents. It was timestamping. Similar to today's blockchains, this system relied on cryptographic techniques to protect data and prevent it from being manipulated. Interestingly, at no point in Satoshi's white paper does he use the term blockchain. Digital cash before Bitcoin. Bitcoin was not the first attempt to develop a form of digital cash, but it has certainly been the most successful. Previous systems paved the way for Satoshi's invention. DigiCash. DigiCash was a company founded by cryptographer and computer scientist David Calm in the late 1980s. It was presented as a privacy solution for online transactions, which was based on an article written by Calm himself, as explained here. The DigiCash model was a centralized system, but it was an interesting experiment nonetheless. The company would later go bankrupt, something Calm would attribute to its introduction at a time when e-commerce had not yet taken off. B-Money was first described in a proposal by computer engineer Wei Dai, published in the 1990s. That proposal would be cited in the Bitcoin white paper, and it's not hard to see why. B-Money proposed a proof-of-work system, which is the same system used in Bitcoin mining, as well as the use of a distributed database in which users sign transactions. Proof-of-work is a mechanism to prevent double spends. A second version of B-Money also described an idea similar to staking, a system currently employed by other cryptocurrencies. Staking consists of holding funds in a cryptocurrency wallet to support the security and operations of a blockchain network. In the end, B-Money would never get off the ground as it never made it past the draft stage. Despite this, Bitcoin would clearly be inspired by the concepts presented by Dai. BitGold. BitGold and Bitcoin are so similar that some people think that its creator, computer scientist Nick Szabo, is Satoshi Nakamoto himself. In essence, BitGold is an accounting ledger that stores series of data originating from proof-of-work transactions. As with B-Money, it would never be further developed. The similarities between BitGold and Bitcoin, however, have cemented the former's reputation as a precursor to Bitcoin. How are new Bitcoins created? Bitcoin has a finite money supply, but not all of its units are in circulation yet. The only way to create new coins is through a process called mining, which is the special mechanism used to add data to the blockchain. How many Bitcoins are there? The protocol sets the maximum monetary mass of Bitcoin at 21 million coins. By 2020, just under 90% of these have already been generated, but it will take about 100 years to produce the remaining ones. This is due to a series of events of a periodic nature known as halvings, have gradually reduced the reward for mining. How does Bitcoin mining work? Through mining, participants add blocks to the blockchain. To do so, they must devote computational power to solving cryptographic puzzles. As an incentive, a reward is available for the one who proposes a valid block. Generating a block is expensive, but confirming its validity is very cheap. If someone tries to cheat using an invalid block, the network will immediately reject it, and the miner will not be able to recover the mining costs. How long does it take to mine a block? The protocol adjusts the mining difficulty so that it takes approximately 10 minutes to find a new block. But blocks are not always found just 10 minutes after the previous one. The time taken simply fluctuates around this target.